And I think you also mentioned that you were in high school at that point. You were already thinking about college and where to go and what to do. Were you having any career paths set up for yourself outside of chess, or were you looking, because we know in the US, and this is also specific to the US, you have these scholarship colleges. Were you thinking about attending one of those? What was the plan at that point?
Yeah, I had a very difficult decision to make my like junior year of high school when it was time to decide where I wanted to go to college. I was offered a full ride to UT Dallas.
Mm,
Um,
that's where I went.
I know, yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I visited at some point, like they gave me a whole tour of the campus and I
When was
sat
that?
in
2011?
2011.
Because I came to UT Dallas 2010, but I don't
Uh,
remember
I'm
seeing
trying to
you.
remember if you were there. I mean, Sadora was
I was
there.
definitely there. I was definitely there. I'm not
I think
sure
you
what.
were there. I don't
Yes,
know if you had like were there that day, but
I was definitely there. So I went from 2010 to 2014,
okay.
but I don't remember seeing them giving you the tour. Probably that was Rade, the coach,
And
and Jim
Stallings,
Stallings. Yeah.
yeah. And it was a super tempting offer. But I also got into University of Illinois, which just had a good program in math and computer science, which at the time I thought was a good major to pursue. And I had already a lot of high school friends going there, so I decided to turn down the full ride and attend University of Illinois for a couple years. But to be honest, like even by the time I was attending college, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And after a couple of years at Illinois, I realized like the major I was pursuing wasn't right for me. Like I was more into like more front end like design and media and photography and the computer science and math. It was a little bit, I mean, I enjoyed it or parts of it, but it was very theoretical and not so much like hands-on. So I ended up taking a gap semester and then eventually transferring to Webster University on a chess scholarship. So I kind of got to a sense of both worlds between a more serious like academic school and a chess school where I met a lot of cool people. And Webster was under the Spice program with
Hmm.
Susan Polgar.
Still is,
So
I think. Yeah.
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 Is that when you decided that you wanted to stay in the chess world full time when you were at Webster?
Yeah. So to be honest, like I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, even like well through college. It wasn't until maybe like my junior or senior year at Webster that I mean, I was pursuing a different major, interactive digital media, which kind of encompassed like web design, photography, graphic design, video production. So it was more aligned with my interests. But I didn't know if I wanted to like have chess as my profession or just get like a normal 9 to 5 job or do freelance. And like even after graduating, like I didn't know what I wanted to
But that
do
was the
with my
most
life.
that's the most attractive thing about chess, being a chess professional, just the
Hmm.
flexibility of it all. Yeah, you don't have
Keeping
to
the
go
options open.
to a 9-5, keeping the options open. I remember you also as a big chess photographer. Like you
Yeah.
were doing a lot of traveling based on that. So you found a lot of paths to pursue chess as a chess professional, not only by playing, but also through photography, through streaming, and everything of that nature.
Yeah, I think my mindset was just to learn, like keep learning like new skills and keep kind of pursuing what I was interested in. And even if I didn't know what I wanted to do long term, I'd have a lot of just opportunities and options open. And I decided that after graduating, it was May 2017, I just decided to take a gap year and travel and play in tournaments. And I was coaching a lot of the time, so that was enough to support myself and support my travels. And yeah, then a few months after graduating, I started streaming on Twitch and making YouTube content. And of course, that snowballed over time. And yeah, I'm like super grateful to have found kind of my niche and something that I enjoy doing.
Tell us about that gap year, because this is one thing I guess I myself struggled as a chess professional after graduating. Pretty much making ends meet. How are you doing that? And did you feel any sort of anxiety about it at all?
Yeah, I guess there was some like financial pressure. But the thing about coaching chess online, if you have enough students, I was making more than I would have if I just got like an entry level
Like an
job
entry
at
level,
some
yeah.
like design firm. So I already had like enough coming in and enough flexibility to kind of keep learning and experimenting with different
But
projects.
at the same time, students come and go, right?
That's true.
A lot of them just come in for a couple of lessons and then they get bored and then they leave. Then you have to resupply the same number of students if you want to continue maintaining your
Yeah,
financial status, I guess.
at that point, just because I had more time open up, given I wasn't a student, there was a lot of demand for lessons.
Mm.
Like I already had like maybe a dozen or two students I was giving like weekly or like twice a month lessons, and pretty early in the gap year, I had to stop taking new students because there was so much demand, and I put a wait list on my site, thinking that okay, if I can't give lessons to you now, maybe I can give lessons to you in the future. But that wait list, it got like maybe a few hundred signups over the course of a few
Oh, wow.
months. And I had to like direct potential students to just other coaches. So I already had kind of a, I guess, a recognizable brand online. Maybe not so much from my own like Twitch and YouTube channels at that point, but through the St. Louis Chess Club. Because like mid 2017, I did the like residency at the club, like the GM in residence. Even though I was and still am, and I am. Some of those lectures were put on YouTube, and a few of those like got over 1 million views, and that led to a lot of just demand for private coaching. So super grateful for that. Just kind of have the have the option to pursue coaching if I wanted, but that was also kind of a kickstart to me doing my own Twitch and YouTube channels.
So when you were at Webster, who were the chess players that you were friends with or that you like to hang out with?
Yeah, I mean, I was like top, maybe within the top 10, maybe like 10th rated overall. But there was Laquan Liam, Ray Robson, Ilya Nizhnik,
That's an
uh,
intimidating lineup right there.
Vasif Bailey, Alexander Shimanov. I mean, it goes on and on. Fidel Corrales, Manuel Hoyos.
I think at some
Uh,
point they only had GMs, right?
Yeah, like I was board four on their C team at
Oh,
Pan
wow.
Am's, which was a completely different experience playing for Illinois, where I was board one on A team. So it was very humbling, and I learned a ton from just studying with those players, and we had like these intensive training sessions. So yeah, it was a very interesting experience.
Since you're on the pod right now, I'm going to try to extract some enemy information
Sure. Okay.
because obviously I teach at Mizzou. So
Hmm.
I want to know, what did you find the best tool to train at Webster? What was the best tool? Something that you didn't know that top level players like Grandmasters 26, 2650, you mentioned also like Huang Liam, who was close to 2700 at that point, and a world class trainer like Susan Polgar. What was the main tool that they were using?
Yeah, first of all, I don't think I have any secrets to hide. Like there's no like secret training formula or anything. I think it was a mix of things. One thing that really helped is we had our own chess office that everyone had access to 24/7. So at any point, there'd usually be someone studying in the room. So you're like always surrounded by chess. We had like kind of a computer lab of computers stocked up with chess base and all the modern games and a lot of like just software and online resources. And we had an extensive chess library too. So kind of having an environment for self-study was amazing. And then in terms of like the structured chess practices, we'd usually meet a few times a month, probably more so before big tournaments. And there'd be some structured routine of like solving very difficult exercises. And the whole team was given like the same maybe 8 or 16
Mm.
exercises that the top level GMs would maybe solve like 80% of. And for me, I would only solve like three or four. So like they were very difficult training material, but it it was nice. It's like lifting heavy weights. It's what makes you stronger. And then we would play out a lot of like thematic positions or opening positions, and I think that helped a lot. Like not necessarily playing just normal training games, but playing out positions that test your defending capabilities or attacking abilities, or what to do when things are super chaotic. Um, that
Was there also a
yeah,
lot
that
of
was nice.
competitiveness, like playing blitz or in solving? Were a lot of the players?
Oh
trying to
yeah.
compete with one another and trying to like
Yeah,
prove
there
that
were
they're
incentives to like whoever would solve the most
Social
puzzles and
incentives or
yeah, it was a mix of things, but we were given homework too. So whoever like came back with the most problems solved every week would there was some point system, and at the end we'd get gift cards for restaurants or whatever. So
that's one
yeah,
thing I haven't implemented. I
gotta
mean,
get the gift cards.
yes, I have to buy
I
the
don't
gift
think I
cards.
ever like actually got a gift card, but yeah, I mean, like everyone is naturally competitive on the team, and there'd always be like what's going on. It
What
was yeah.
what if somebody decides to cheat?
Hmm?
What if somebody decides to cheat and
Oh,
just
with
like
like doing
use the engine to
puzzles.
do the puzzles
There
and
is
then
some honor
come and
system.
100%, 100% every single week, and then you get gift cards?
Yeah,
What happens then?
I think
Someone leaves the program.
Kicked off.
there's always going to be drama behind the scenes, but I think most people were pretty honest on the team, and I'm trying to think back. Like usually, it was a matter of actually getting people to like do the exercises on their own because you had to have to balance like schoolwork and all the other things in life. And I will say I was very bad at like actually doing the homework because it just takes and it takes a few hours of like very intensive focus. And I was at that point I was teaching a lot and doing a lot of like freelance work and also trying to get my coursework done. So it
Was
was a
this
lot to
homework
balance.
mandatory? Were you expected to complete it, or was just optional?
I think it was more expected for the top players on our team. For myself, I think it was somewhat optional, but like every player had their own goals too. Because for me, I knew that I wasn't going to be a professional player. Of course, I want to improve on my game. I was working hard before tournaments, but yeah, in a time where I don't have anything going on or any tournaments going on for a few months, and maybe I wasn't taking chess as seriously as I would.